have a friend whom I will call Sarah, not her real name, and she is one of my favorite people in the world. Sometimes she comes to us for Shabbat meals, and she's like, I always, even if we have like a lot of people, she's the kind of person like I always like snag her so she'll sit next to me. She's just like such a wonderful, warm, sensitive, insightful person, and I love her. And so the truth is, even though like I've known her for a few years, I don't really know much about her personal history. I don't really know. I think maybe she was married. It wasn't. I was sort of blurry on. I don't. I never. She never spoke about any children. Um, so so I guess for me it seemed a little bit sad because I know like this person, Sarah, she's like an incredibly maternal person. She has some very dear friends, and she really takes care of them. Like we had a mutual friend who was moving, and it was Sarah who organized the friends who would help to move this friend's stuff. Or if a friend's sick, like she's the person who organizes, or someone's engaged, she's the one who organizes the party. And she's such a loyal friend and such a warm and caring person, just really phenomenally so. So it seemed a bit sad. Like I just know like that she would be like the perfect dream mother, or now she's already in her mid 60s, the dream grandmother. And so I know that. So professionally, Sarah works with young children. She helps young children, and it just seemed perfect. Like she's like that kind of person who would be like working and helping and working with children. Um, so um, so basically, my husband and I got a real surprise a few weeks ago. We were in the shuk in the market, and Sarah came up to us and she said a miracle just happened. Like, okay, so what miracle happened? And so Sarah told us a really surprising story about her life. She explained to us that when she was 23 years old in the late 60s, the sort of like the culture of the late 60s, things were a little bit crazy back then. So she was married for several years, she told us. And she was married briefly, and she actually became pregnant. And her husband said that he wasn't prepared to raise a child. So they decided to give the baby up for adoption. And so they had a baby girl, and when that baby girl was a few days old, my friend Sarah passed over the baby, and for 42 years, she did not know what had happened to the baby. She didn't know. And so it turns out that Sarah, that at the age of 23, that was her last pregnancy. She never became pregnant again. That was this incredible, warm, maternal person. This was her only child. And so for many years, she was looking for her daughter. But all of this happened in the United States. The United States is a very big place. And so she had no idea. She tried to do it, like tried to find something out to the lawyer. The lawyer couldn't help her. Basically, she kept on trying, and just it was like she was like running into, like, banging her head against a brick wall. There was nothing. She was looking and couldn't find her daughter. And I can only imagine knowing Sarah, knowing what a sensitive person she is. So I can imagine just how devastating that must have been. So what was the miracle? Sarah heard about somebody who, for a living, there's a woman who was herself given up for adoption, and now for a living, what she does is she helps to reunite biological parents and their children. By using, basically, she does the research to help to find these long lost children or parents, as the case might be. So a few months ago, Sarah's daughter was found. And so Sarah's daughter, Baruch Hashem, is happily married. She's 42 years old. She has children of her own. So Baruch Hashem, like 2 weeks ago, Sarah met her daughter for the first time in 42 years. And Sarah just got back to Israel. I haven't spoken with her yet. I heard through the grapevine it was an amazing reunion. And but it's just such a heartbreaking story and such a wonderful story. And I'm just telling us this story, Jewish moms, because I think that, so often, like with our kids, we can get like, sort of like a bit, we can't help but take it for granted. And I just want us to remember to think of Sarah, and think of Sarah and how much she missed her daughter, and think of her daughter and how much the daughter knew that she was adopted, like the pain that caused her to like be missing her own biological mother, and that we shouldn't forget to think about our lives, to think about what we have, in our homes, that how we have these little people that we're raising, and to really 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 thank God, that we have the ability, and the possibility to be here and to be in our homes and to be raising our children. Baruch Hashem. I want to bless all of you Jewish moms with an amazing, amazing week.